Hi everyone, this is Sean. Welcome back to our channel. Please press the thumbs up button, subscribe, share, comment. I'm looking forward to all the dialogue. I appreciate all of you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you a top secret tip on how to reduce the intensity of a situation. I hate to say the words de-escalate, and I'm trying my best to avoid those words, because the word de-escalate is a word that was created by the politicians out there. I'm going to try my best not to say that word. I also want you guys to keep in mind that training is paramount. This year alone, by the end of the year, I will have completed about 5 weeks to 6 weeks. I'm sorry. Yeah, 5 to 6 weeks of training, about a month and a week of training. And this ranges from firearm tactics to less lethal tactics. I don't want to use this word. De-escalation. Most of this training is on my own dime. If you want to advance in security, go to as much training as you can. I know in security you're very limited to go into the types of classes that maybe you want to go to. But I'll tell you this, if you join or you enter the field of tribal security, that technically is law enforcement, depending on how your tribe is arranged. There's a lot of law enforcement agencies out there, well, regional academies that accept tribal security, tribal law enforcement. So you can attend there's a lot of these courses. If you are in an organization that's considered tribal law enforcement, you can actually go to FLETC. And FLETC is basically your federal law enforcement training center. You're gonna have to pay for your own plane ticket or travel expenses, but there's some places, I think it's in Charleston, North Carolina, New Mexico. They pay for your food and they pay for your lodging. The only thing is that your employer has to certify that you are on duty, which means basically they're gonna have to pay for you to attend training. So basically you won't be showing up to work. Instead of showing up to work, you'll be showing up to training. So you have to have that agreement with your employer. And that training there is awesome. They have active shooter instructor training. That's the course that I want to go to. I don't have enough time because I'm taking all these other courses. I also want you to keep in mind that most of the training it's on your own dime. About 80% of the training that I just mentioned, the 5 to 6 weeks of training, that's on my dime. I highly value my training. But at the end of the day, at the end of my law enforcement career, I'm going to have lots and lots and lots of training, and I can use this in a whole lot of different fields. But get the training now. There's all kinds. So today's, I guess, briefing lesson or training tip is this. And this is something that I learned in this course I'm taking. It's called Realistic De-escalation Instructor. This is a course that's given online or in person by the Force Institute. I'm actually completing this course online because it's easier for me. I don't have to travel, but it's taken me 5 to 6 months because I procrastinate a lot. And I finished the course within the first week or two of starting the course. And this is back in November 2022. I'm procrastinating the final exam. I want it to be perfect. I don't want no mistakes. I want to look great on camera. Basically, you video or record yourself, and you have to follow all the objectives and there's a whole checklist that you have to follow, and then you send the video to them, and then they might call you for follow-up, or they might accept your video, and then you get your certificate. Force Institute has been paramount with shaping the way that we perceive lethal force encounters. I've been in a lot of disagreements with a lot of people on YouTube in the comment section below whenever there's a use of force incident. A lot of people don't want to accept science. And basically this course allows you to understand the science sorry guys, I'm losing my train of thought. They want you to understand the science that comes with a lethal force or a force encounter. It's very, very, very crucial information that you learn. I think I paid about $500 for the course. This course is worth it. And they're certified. This course is certified by the International Chiefs of Police Association. If you are in security, you're wondering how does this apply to you, Sean? You keep saying law enforcement. No, this course applies to security as well. Now the videos are all law enforcement. They mention police officer, but you can use this in security. Excellent course. Before I ramble on and on, what I learned is this: when you say, or when you give a command repetitively, you're going to lose your value. So if you say, drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife, or drop the weapon, 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 you say that 20 times or 30 times, you probably are losing the effect that it has. Now, why do you keep repeating? Now, one of the reasons why you keep repeating is because, hey, you forgot that you even mentioned it the third time or the second time. That's one of the reasons, because of all the adrenaline. When the adrenaline is pumping, the logic is not there. Okay, you're using the animal instinct of your brain. What I recommend is this. Now, in a real life situation, I do say, drop whatever it is I want them to drop. And I try to say it 2 to 3 times. I say it out loud in English. Now, because I work in a Spanish-speaking community, I will also say it in Spanish. If I work in a predominantly Chinese community or Korean community, Arabic community, then I will give the commands in that language as well. And what you're doing is you're creating an audience. You're creating witnesses. If it goes south, and it might go south, witnesses can testify to you giving that person commands to drop the weapon. When the jury looks at this, a third party looks at this, it looks more like you're a reasonable person. I mean, you really didn't want to use force on the person, and you gave them a sufficient chance by giving these commands. After you give the commands, I want you guys to think about something else. If you say it a 4th or the 5th time, there might not be any effect. And why is that? Because their judgment is clouded by alcohol, by drugs, sometimes by anger. And you have to get them into a perspective, or you have to get them into the frame of mind that they're not in danger anymore, that they're safe. So if you have time and distance, meaning if you could back up or walk to the side and put a barrier between you and that person, maybe a vehicle, a light pole, a small wall, something, okay, if you create that time and distance, you can actually start talking to them maybe a little bit differently. You might say, hey, can we start all over again? It looks like maybe we came off to a bad start, but I want to de-escalate the situation with you. And I know the whole de-escalation right now, it's a taboo term if you are the practitioner, because this is a word that's made up by the politicians. But other people hear the word de-escalation. Hey, this sounds great. The security officer even said, hey, can we start all over? He or she would like to de-escalate the situation. That sounds great. It sounds like you are a reasonable person. So mention that. And if that person's able to calm down, just say, hey, look, find out what their name is. Hey, Tony. Hey, Maria. Hey, Martha. You're safe. You're safe. Let's work on this together. You don't have to do this. There's a whole lot of other options. I can get some help on the way. We could take you to somewhere where you feel a lot more safer, where you don't have a lot of things running through your mind. But right now, it's difficult to even get to that stage because you're holding that knife, or you won't drop that gun. You won't drop that bat. You got to be careful with the gun, though. It's very difficult to communicate with somebody that has a gun. Now, if you're able to, if this is safe for you, I mean, you can always mention to them that it's very difficult to communicate with that person with a gun if they can slowly place it on the floor. If you could get them to do that, that'd be wonderful. This technique, I want you to keep in mind with, it's more for knife incident, cutting instruments, bludgeoning instruments. Okay, because you can create that time and distance, because it's not like a bullet where it can just catch up to you in splits of a second. Okay, but I always start off by giving my commands: drop the knife, drop it, drop it, drop it. Do not say, drop the effing knife. Drop the effing whatever it is. It looks bad on camera. It almost sounds like you're losing control. If you're screaming at this person can tell that you're losing control. And there's a way to project your voice in such a way that it sounds like to other people that you're losing control. I could speak to somebody assertively, strongly, by concentrating my speech, my vocals from my stomach area. I mean, I could sound authoritative without screaming. I could tell somebody, drop the bat. Drop the bat now. If you don't drop the bat, I'm going to be forced to shoot you. So I got my commands out of the way. I gave a consequence. And then if I feel the need to give more orders for the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th time, that's when you should try something different, guys. And it's okay to make what's called a tactical pause. What I tell my team is this: when things are getting heated, and if we have the time to do this, we have time, distance, and we have a little bit safer situation, I say, hey guys, let's take a tactical pause on this. And we'll take 20 seconds. And then we'll start all over, or we will continue from where we came from. But at least it's giving us time to collect our thoughts. It's allowing us to think with the logic portion of our brain, and not the reptilian, not the animal instincts that we have inside of us. Talk to them. Hey, can we both de-escalate the situation? There's other options out there. You don't have to feel like this. I know you're frustrated. I know that the voices in your head are just overwhelming. I don't know exactly how you feel, because I haven't been in your predicament before, but I know that there's help, and I can give you help. But if you're coming up to me with this knife, you're reducing those options. So please, let's just work together on this. Obviously, do this from a position of cover, create your time and distance. So that's all I have. I'm looking forward to you guys' dialogue. Have you had to give somebody numerous orders? Do you feel like, have you ever felt like you gave somebody an order 5 or 6 times, 10 times, 12 times? Just too many times, and it wasn't effective. You had to just go hands-on, or you had to just back off. I'm interested in hearing what you guys have to say. Have you tried a similar technique that I'm talking about? Do you think this technique might work? Let me know what you guys think about this video. And I'm looking forward to the dialogue. Take care, and please be safe.